Eddie Vedder and Mike McCready came to a show, and Mike was like, that first album was so important to me. And Tad was like, the guitar sounded like shit. And you could see him like break.
There's a lot of rumors going around about that record, and that your dad actually recorded a version of the record using his vintage Marshalls and the 5153s. And that mix is sort of sitting somewhere, just collecting dust, never going to see the light of day. Did
Van
he
Halen
really use
fans
some vintage
loved
Marshalls, or?
I think he whipped it out to test it for a song or two, and then it was like, I'm past that. Let's use what his taste obviously changed throughout time. I remember he brought it for one day, but no, we're not hiding some mix. We're not hiding 20 extra songs. Like, what you got was it, except for one song we never even finished. So,
wow. Yeah, you know how just fucking crazy fans are online. It's like, just the fact that I mentioned that, they'd be like, "Oh, he's lying."
Yeah, why would I know, right?
My whole thing with that is like, why break up? I mean, look, you got the EVH brand. You're trying to sell new guitars, try and sell some amps. I mean, why go back to that old tone? I mean, stick with the modern stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget when we met. Eddie Vedder and Mike McCready came to a show, and Mike was like, that first album was so important to me. And Tad was like, the guitar sounded like shit. And you could see him like break. And it was just like, Dad's taste just changed over the years. And he was always a tone chaser. So, yeah.
Did you hear that anecdote on Stern from Eddie?
No, what?
Oh yeah. I'll get you that clip somehow. Well, it's definitely, he talks about that day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so funny.
There's a funny, actually talking about your dad and Howard Stern, dude. One of my favorite clips ever, like from being a son and a dad that loves to embarrass him wherever we go somewhere. It's always like my dad's the star, and I'm just kind of like, hey, what's up? The funniest thing that I've ever heard in the interview was your dad was on the phone, like Stern, in like 2006 before the 07 tour. And he was like, yeah, so your son Wolf, like, how old is he? He's a teenager. He's in the bathroom. He's in there for like 40 minutes at a time. And Howard's like, what, do you think he's beating off in there? And your dad's like, well, he's definitely not taking a 40-minute shower. And I was like, that's such a teenage, like, dad story, like dad thing to do.
I took my Game Boy everywhere with me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, when I was 13, I definitely had the iPhone already. 40-minute showers. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't have a phone in high school, man. I had a flip phone. If kids with iPhones these days in high school, they're so lucky.
Yeah, the old school Razors, Motorola's.